Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim. I have before me my Sefer Chayinu, and also Likutei Sichas, a section out of the Rebbe's Likutei Sichas. And this is pertaining to the Torah reading that we read today, the fifth Aliyah, the fifth Torah reading, which is chapter 46, verse 8 through 27 of the book of Genesis, Parshas Vayigash. So this is the title of this teaching of Likutei Sichas, the 70th soul that descended to Egypt. So I will begin. Let's see if there's an introduction. Yeah. All right. If anybody doesn't know what Likutei Sichas is, Likutei Sichas is the magnum opus of the Lubavitcher Rebbe's talks over the decades of his leadership, spanning every area of Torah, revealing unprecedented novelty in approach to Torah study and understanding. Project Likutei Sichas is an initiative to cover the complete 39 volumes by studying 2 Sichas talks each week. Following is a summary of 1 Sicha of this week's study schedule. All right. The title of this section is The 70th Soul That Descended to Egypt. The context. The Torah relates that when Yaakov's family descended to Egypt, they numbered 70 souls. When we count all the names listed, however, the total is 69. The sages offer 3 opinions on the identity of the 70th. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer says that God was considered the 70th, as he, too, descended into Egypt with the Jewish people. 2. Several commentators maintain that Yaakov himself was counted as the 70th. And 3. The Talmud and Rashi say that Yocheved, the daughter of Levi, was born in between the walls as they crossed into Egypt. The question: what is the significance of these 3 views on who completed the number 70? The explanation: the number 70 corresponds to both the wider world, represented by the 70 nations, and to the particular world of Jewish identity, represented by the 70 sages of the Sanhedrin. The purpose of the descent into Egyptian exile was to prepare the Jewish people for their role in transforming themselves and the wider world into a home for God. The 12 tribes are a bridge between the forefathers and the common people. Their role is to transmit the essential faith bequeathed by the forefathers to every Jew, even one who possesses minimal divine awareness, in order to be able to fuse the deepest divine truth with the lowest possible forms of existence. Yaakov's family had to descend to the spiritual wasteland of Egypt to implant faith in the lowest reality. Thus, Jacob's family numbered 70, corresponding to the role in preparing the Jewish people and the wider world into a home where God's presence is fully apparent. But because they had to travel to a place devoid of godliness, they also needed spiritual protection to ensure that they would not become mired in Egypt's darkness and lose their identity and ability to effect the change they were tasked with. Some commentaries say this was Yaakov himself, since Yaakov represented a spiritual consciousness from the world of Atzilus that transcends the physical world and the darkness of Egypt. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer says that God's presence accompanied the people in exile, but not Yaakov. In this perspective, if Yaakov were to be the 70th, then his spirit would remain constantly with his people, tangibly encouraging them and diminishing the sensation of exile itself. This would be counterproductive to the point of the exile, which is the concealment of God. God's descent into exile accomplishes both needs. It is not tangibly felt, so that the full brunt of the exile is experienced, but his presence still provides protection to ensure that the Jewish people do not become stuck in the darkness of Egypt. Rashi maintains that Yocheved was the 70th because she personifies the most effective way to transform the darkness of exile while remaining above it. On the one hand, Yocheved was the only one of the 70 to live through the period of slavery. On the other hand, she was born outside of Egypt and gave birth to the Redeemer, Moshe. This alludes to a unique role, to be of the world, to be part of the exile, and to be able to transform the exile from within, to produce the Redeemer while languishing in exile, as opposed to a top-down revelation and redemption which eliminates the exilic opposition. Yocheved represents the power to refine the exile itself, which is the ultimate purpose of the Jewish people, to fashion from the world itself a home for God. And that is a portion out of Likutei Sichas. Have a wonderful night. Laila Tov.